Verse 12. Great was the wailing and crying of the people when it was known that ASHA had been decreed to death. The city of Os became as a house of mourning and madness, and it was divided against itself, some for ASHA and some for the king. Verse 13. Because ASHA was old and thus in view of the king all day, the king repented, but he had no power under law to set aside his own decree. And when the sun went down, the king went before ASHA, saying, Behold, thou hast been 6 hours on the wheel, and yet thy God hath not come to release thee. This is a great torture, and I weep for thee. If thou wilt therefore slay thyself with the sword, I will have thee taken down. Verse 14. ASHA said, I declare unto thee, O king, I have no pain, whether it be my madness, or whether it be the gods favor me. What mattereth it, since I suffer not? Nor have I right to slay myself, since I created not myself alive. Moreover, if it be the will of thy creator, O Maz, that I die on the wheel, then it is just. If it be not his will, then will he release me. Therefore, O king, I am content. Verse 17. Now on the night of the 3rd day, ASHA felt the power of God coming upon him, and he said unto the guard, Behold, this night I will be released. See to it as to whether the thongs are well fastened. For if it turn out that the Father release me, then will ye stand before the king accused of conveying at my release. Accordingly, the guard re-examined the fastening and sent word to the king of what ASHA had said, and the king replied, Nah, if he be released, then will I know of a truth there is a God, neither shall one man of my guardsmen stand accused. Verse 18. This they told to ASHA, and ASHA said, I say unto you, not only one shall stand accused, but all of you. And there were of them 100, being 2 watches of 50 each. But it being the change of watch, they all heard, and they laughed in diversion. Verse 19. And behold, in that same moment of time, the thongs fell off, and God delivered ASHA down from the wheel. And the Spirit of God was in ASHA, nor was ASHA himself, though knowing to the things done through him. Verse 22. Hayatsin, king of the sun, said, What profit have my guardsmen in releasing this old man? Behold, it hath been said that, though ASHA had gold and silver hidden away, I know now of a truth, thou hast bribed these guardsmen to set thee free, for which reason every man of these guardsmen shall be put to death, and their skulls mounted on the walls of oath, and their skins tamed for leather. Away with them, ye marshals, bind them till the rising sun, and at that hour hew off their heads, as have I decreed it. Verse 26. Then spoke God through ASHA, saying, Thou hast decreed the guardmen to death at sunrise. Now I declare unto thee, O king, not one of them shall die, as thou hast decreed it, but I, God, will deliver them. Think not that I am ASHA. I am not ASHA, but the Spirit, the God of the Ahuans. Neither will I spirit away thy guardsmen by a miracle, but by natural means, and I will show thee that I am mightier than all kings. Verse 27. The king said, It cannot be that there are gods or spirits. Is man's judgment nothing? These things were suited to the dark ages. They affrighted men to justice, and so far served the purpose. But in this enlightened age man shall know justice and wisdom of himself. Verse 28. While the king yet spoke, God caused the attending spirits to assume mortal form by the curtains behind the king. And they had made a noise so that the king turned to look, and lo and behold, he saw them. He feared, not knowing, but they were evil persons concealed. And he said, Robbers, murderers. And he drew his sword and thrust at them, but they vanished. He said, verse 29, Verily art thou a devil, O ASHA. And he thrust his sword at ASHA, but it fell from the handle. He said, Ye feats, kill him, kill him. And while he was thus puzzled, ASHA walked forth out of the palace, nor would the king's guard lay hands on him. Book of God's Word, chapter 17, 1-5. Zarathustra frees the prisoners. Verse 1. When ASHA went away from the king's palace, Zarathustra met him, and they went together to the prison where the guardsmen were confined, prior to the execution on the morrow at sunrise. And there came 400 converts of ASHA. And when they stood around about the prison, Zarathustra said unto them, Verse 2. Stand ye in the altar, the crescent of the living God, for his power is upon me, and I will deliver this prison. And the keeper of the prison, and also his attendants, woke up and came with spears, saying, Disperse, disperse, or by the king of the sun ye shall die. Verse 3. Zarathustra said, Art thou greater than God? Thrust then thy spears against my breast. The keeper did so, saying, Thy size is nothing to me, thou boaster. But lo, the shaft was broken in 1,000 pieces, neither touched the blade against his garment. Seeing which the other spearmen feared, and Zarathustra walked up to them and took their spears from them. Verse 4. And the Zarathustrians stood in the form of a living altar, and Zarathustra laid his hands against the front wall of the prison, saying, In thy wisdom and power, O God, deliver thou this prison. And behold, the front wall opened as a door opened, and the prisoners came out unharmed. Verse 5. Zarathustra said, On the morrow the king will decree to death every faithist within the city. Go ye therefore while it is yet night, and command all my people to rise at once and depart out of the city, and I will lead them to a place of safety. So that same night the faithists fled beyond the walls. Book of God's Word, chapter 18, verse 1, it states, God spoke to Zarathustra the all-pure, saying, Explain these things to my people, for they shall not dwell in darkness, nor in fear. Zarathustra said, What shall I tell them, O God? Verse 2. God said, My people are united, my people are delivered out of the evil city. Tell themselves of themselves, and by themselves have I delivered them as a separate people. Verse 3. I found an easy way to unite them. I went not by a dark road. This is no miracle, but the manifestation of faith in the all-light. Verse 4. Take them further away from oaths, far away in the forest. And since ASHA is an old man, and learned above all other men, he shall be the rabbi over them. Verse 5. God said, But as for thee, O Zarathustra, thou art young and strong, thou shalt choose 50 men from amongst my people, well learned, strong, full of vigor, and they shall be thy companions. And thou shalt visit the large cities of SHEMM, Ham, and JAFFETH. For 4 years shalt thou travel, delivering the Zarathustrian law. But at the end of that time thou shalt return to Os, and to this people my first chosen. Verse 9. And Zarathustra chose 50 men well learned and vigorous, not old, and they departed to establish the Zarathustrian law in the cities of the east and south. God led them forth, speaking to Zarathustra the all-pure, telling him whither to go, and directing him in the nearest roads, over the mountains and plains, and across the rivers. And wheresoever they went, God provided them with beasts of burden, and beasts to ride on, and converting their owners to the Almazdian law, who gave them all things required. Verse 10. The first large city Zarathustra came to was Segal, on the plains of Joab, high walled with wood and stone. And when he came to the gate thereof, the keeper demanded his name and business, speaking in another language, and Zarathustra understood him not. Then came God, answering the keeper in his own tongue, saying, verse 13, Zarathustra, of whom the Sun King spoke, is before thee. I am here to prove to thee many things pertaining to what is written in the book of Holies. But I utter many words. I pray thee that thy son Hising, and thy wife Hittias, and thy daughter and Zabi be also present. Verse 14. The king said, How knowest thou the names of my people? And God said, Here stands guardian spirits, and they speak to me. Chief amongst them is Aya, thy grandfather, who slew himself, and next to him are thy kinspeople in spirit, Noah, West, Lut, Gansi, Mithsi, Nimch, Wuhoin, Rux, and Pascu. Verse 15. The king was concerned, for many of these had been slain in wars, nor knew he how Zarathustra discovered their names. So he sent for his wife and his son and daughter, and they all went into the inner chamber, Zarathustra with them. Then spoke Ahumazda to the king, saying, verse 16, Think not that ASHA is mad because he hath given up all he had and gone to live with the poor. The gods call all men mad who do otherwise, especially rich men and kings and rulers. For such men set value on things that they cannot retain, but during earth life at most. ASHA setteth value on that which will last forever. I would that all men would do as ASHA hath done.